you again to by His grace. By His grace, bringing you the word of grace from the people of Grace United Methodist Church. It's not coincidence that my book is entitled From Grace to Grace. And I'm serving a church called Grace United Methodist Church. And my television program is By His Grace. And my sister is called Grace. Grace, 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 grace. I welcome you, knowing that you are there watching, knowing that you are there tuning in to listen and to absorb what God has to give. It's important that we know the Word of God. It's very important that we know the Word of God. Why? Because lack of the Word is equal to lack of faith. Lack of the Word is equal to lack of faith. You cannot have faith when you don't have the Word. So lack of the Word is equal to lack of faith. Because we heard in the Bible, how does faith come? Faith comes by hearing the Word of God. If you read Romans chapter 10, verse 17, how does faith come? Faith comes by hearing the Word of God. So a lack of faith is caused from a lack of the Word. A lack of faith is caused from a lack of the Word, my brothers and sisters. Christians have a lack of faith because the Word does not abide in them. If the Word does not abide in you, there is nothing you have to hold on to. If the Word is not there. If you don't have the Word to throw out to Satan, if you don't have the Word to throw at him when he comes to tempt you. If Satan comes along with his smoke screen and he says to you, this is God trying and testing you, most people will just melt and have a pity party. They cry, oh, why me, Lord? Why am I going through this, Lord? Don't allow Satan to bring every bad thing that comes down the road to you. Neither give place to the devil. Read Ephesians chapter 4 verse 27. Neither give place to the devil. It is not God perfecting you. Many books have been written out of self-pity. Many books have been written out of defeat. Many people fall under the attack of Satan. And they say, it must be God perfecting me. That is a cop-out, brothers and sisters. That's a cop-out, my friends. It is easier to blame God than to admit that we failed to act on the Word. We have to blame someone. It's always easier to blame someone instead of knowing that we have failed in the Word of God. When we don't have the Word to throw back to Satan, When we don't have the word to hit him back, then we turn around, we blame God. God must be tempting us. So, it must be God perfecting me. That is a cop-out. It is easier to blame God than to admit that we failed to act on the word. This kind of thinking is a devastating blow to anyone's faith. It will stop your faith from working. If you keep thinking that it's God that is tempting you, it's a devastating blow to your faith, and it will stop your faith from working. God does not tempt. Things may be going wrong, but that's not God tempting. But God may allow you to be tempted, as he allowed Jesus to be tempted in the wilderness. But Jesus did not fall to temptation because Jesus had the word. When Satan said, if you call yourself the Son of God, why don't you command these stones to turn into bread that you will eat? I know you're hungry. What happened? Jesus said to Satan, it is written that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. Jesus got the word. Do you have that word? Or are you just melting anytime Satan blows air on you? I want you to know that God is working for you. God is on your side. He does not tempt you, but he may allow you to be tempted. But in all the diverse temptations, he is working with you every step of the way. Wake up, people, and know that God is not the tempter. God may allow you to be tempted in order to prove to Satan that you are strong in faith, in order to prove to Satan that you cannot be moved, in order to prove to Satan that your feet are planted on a solid rock, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. Don't sit down and say, God is tempting me. He's not. He's not. Don't cap out. Let's move on. Well, your faith will fail to produce when you fall for Satan's lies. Anytime you fall for the lies that Satan tells, your faith will stop to produce. Anytime you say, oh, brother Satan, you know you are right, your faith will stop working. Anytime you invite Satan to dinner and tell him, come and tell me more stories, I know I'm going through this, and you stop blaming Satan and you blaming God, that God is tempting you. That's what Satan loves. Because he wants you to be blaming somebody when he does his dirty job. He's not your friend. So don't listen to him. Anytime he talks to you and said, well, you know you can make it, tell him I can make it. He said, you're not going to make it another day. Yes, I'm going to make it another year. Yes, you're not going to get a job. No, I'm going to get that job. Because when God says yes, no one can say no. Do you hear me? I understand what you're going through. We all have something we are going through, each and every one of us. That's why every human being is like a lizard with the stomach on the floor, on the ground. You don't know which one that is having stomach ache. Because everyone's stomach is on the ground. You don't know which one that is having belly ache. So everyone is going through something. But the most important thing is to know that Jesus is with you always. He said, I will never leave you nor forsake you even till the end of time. That's why I'm sitting down here talking to you, because I've been through trials. I've been through tribulations. I've been through fire. I've been through water. I know my God, he was able to hold me in the hollow of his hands until every storm passed over. And I'm still going through trials and tribulations, but I believe that my God is able to deliver me because I trust him. Will you do that for me and for you tonight or this day or tomorrow?